What's happening, guys? With the Sinister 6 spin-off film on its way, we're going to go through the origin story of the bad guys team, which has started back in 1964. After losing to Spider-Man 3 times in a row, Doc Ock realized that in order to defeat the wall crawler, he might need an assistance of other bad guys. He later contacted lots of different villains, but only 5 of them responded to Doc Ock's offer. It was Adrian Toomes, the Vulture, Sergei Kravenov, Kraven the Hunter, Quentin Beck, also known as Mysterio, Electro, and William Baker, the Sandman. Without wasting his precious time, Doc Ock came up with a fight plan, which required every single bad guy to play their own role. Doc Ock came up with an interesting idea that each bad guy should fight Spider-Man on different locations. This way he won't be able to escape. At this point, Spidey was already going through lots of troubles. He started to lose his powers. At some point, Spidey even lost his balance and fell down off a building, barely able to stick to a flagpole. Peter decided to start a new life, just a normal teenager without being Spider-Man. Unfortunately, Sinister 6 found out that Betty Brant, a Daily Bugle secretary, is a friend of Peter and plays a huge part in his life. They kidnapped Betty along with Aunt May. Vulture contacted Jameson and told him that if Spider-Man won't show up to fight Sinister 6, both of them will die. Despite having no superpowers, Peter still put the costume and went to fight with Electro at the power plant. Somehow, during the fight with Max Dillon, Peter regained his powers and managed to easily defeat Electro. Peter later speculated that the miracle behind getting his powers back is probably that he didn't want to be a Spider-Man himself and it was more of a psychological problem. Next one was Kraven the Hunter, who wasn't a big deal for Spidey either. Following this, Spidey easily defeated Mysterio, who was using robotic clones of X-Men against Spidey, as well as Sandman and Vulture. Now a time has come for the final battle. Doc Ock lured Spider-Man into a huge fishbowl. After a short period of time, Spidey defeated Ock and all of the villains were sent to prison. Now this was the first encounter with the Sinister 6, the original one. Later on, all of them managed to escape the prison, but the team has never been the same anymore. Hobgoblin replaced Kraven, who committed suicide, and so on. It was Doc Ock once again who formed the group, who this time had a slightly different goal. He told his team that they need to defeat Spider-Man once again, but in fact he used them for his greater plan, in which Doc Ock was supposed to become the master of the world. Interestingly, this time Sandman helps Spidey to defeat the Sinister 6, and the bad guys were placed in prison once again. Following these events, the Sinister 6 appeared in lots of different groups and incarnations. Their goal took a much bigger perspective, and so did the story itself. Interestingly, many years later, Mysterio formed a Sinister 7, which purpose was to defeat Kane. Now if you go back to the Ultimate 6, the leader of which was Norman Osborn, probably the most famous and most dramatic accomplishment of Norman and his thugs was killing Ultimate Peter Parker, an event which caused a huge controversy back in 2011. It's currently unknown for sure if a Sinister 6 movie will be a story of its own or if they will be featured in The Amazing Spider-Man 3 or 4. Don't forget that Sony Pictures announced the release dates for both sequels long time ago, so perhaps one of them is actually a Sinister 6 film, either a separate movie or a part of The Amazing Spider-Man 3 or 4. Anyway, will we see the death of Peter Parker in the movie as well? And a following replacement and reboot? Let's say a story of Miles Morales or Miguel O'Hara as Spidey from the future? Answer those questions in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'm off for now.